Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Garage Biljon and to my 924 Safari build. Today, finally, we are going to continue the work on the front suspension of the 924. As I've showed you in a previous episode, I have all the components back. They've been with the powder coaters, so that's all now been done. But before we get working on that, I need to tidy up. As you can see, it's quite a mess again. And before I start this new piece of work, I want to make sure all my workbenches are clean and also my floor is clean, because the amount of junk that came out from under this car, it's no longer fun to lie under it. So I'll break out the vacuum cleaner. It's already waiting for me in the corner there. We'll quickly clean this up and then we'll start with the suspension work. Alright, so it's all cleaned up. It took a bit longer than I was hoping for, but it's now nice and tidy in the garage again. Right, I finally have it all assembled or laid out on the workbench here, and now you can see why I had to clean, because there's a lot of parts. So let me take you through it. That's the new Biljon shock absorber, B6 is that. That is the painted spring that came off the car, so I didn't have it powder coat because you can create some damage in the spring in the way it works, so I had that painted. Then we've got the uprights. I have new top mounts, I have new nuts for the uprights. That's the top hat, the spacer that I got from 944 Rally on Instagram. So he's making a new set currently, so if you want one, contact him. This is the top hat. Then this is the A-arm with the new purple Powerflex bushings. That is the reconditioned anti-roll bar drop link. That's the hub. That's a new tie rod end. The dust covers, some more stuff that I've already spoken about. And all of this has to go under there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to assemble the struts with all of its components, because that's an easy job to do off the car. And then once that's done, we will start looking at how we get the rest of the stuff back into the car. Alright, so this is a schematic of how the suspension is put together. So you'll recognize all the parts that are lying here. So we are first going to start by inserting the Biljon shock absorber into the strut and then tying it down with a nut. That's step number one. This is the new Biljon shock, and you can see this has got quite a thick shaft that goes in there, so these are super stable. I bought this guy, but apparently I didn't have to, because one, this is actually Biljon, right? It doesn't go on there, and they supplied me with these nice puffy aluminium ones, so that's what's going to go on. We've got the new nut on top. The shock absorber is in. So now we have to torque this guy up to 120, no, I'm lying, 130 Newton meters of torque. So it's going to take some work to get there, but That's why I bought this tool from Biljon. just make sure that when you put in the new top mount, that you squeeze this rubber all the way in. It's a bit difficult, especially now that it's been all powder coated on new. I just put some WD-40 in there, and now it has actually gone in its spot. Because if it hasn't, you won't be putting it into the shock absorber correctly. But now this is assembled, it can go onto the top as well. You're supposed to be torquing this nut up to 80 Newton meters, but I do not have the equipment to do that. So this is the way I'm going to be torquing it up. I'm pretty sure that when I think it's tight, it will be about that much. Alright, so there we go, one strut rebuilt. You can see she sits nicely, everything is in its spot, and if you want to make this into a Safari, the only thing you have to do is take this block, put it up there, and suddenly you have a lifted suspension for a Safari. So I've got longer bolts that will go through here. So this is what's going to give me the 4 centimeter lift at the front of the car. And you can see how easily this can be reversed, right? If you don't want to have the lift anymore. I'm going to build the other strut quickly, and then we'll build the A-arms, and then I need to do some work under the car. All right, we've got the struts completed and they look truly fantastic. So the next thing we are going to do is build up the A-arms and put in these new bushings. One of the things you have to keep in mind when you are installing silicone into a suspension compound, or actually anywhere, is you need to coat it with Molykote. It's going to help the silicone move a little bit better, and it's going to make that the metal doesn't eat away at the silicone over time, and it's going to stop it from squeaking. So I bought this one, which is Molykote 111 compound. I think this is the best way to do it. So I'm going to lube all these guys up, and then we're going to put them into the A-arm. So this is a fairly straightforward job. As you can see, I'm almost done. So the last thing I'm going to do now is just torque up the little bolts here. I don't have a torque spec for it, but I'm going for 20 Newton meters. I think that should be sufficient. But this is not a... How is this possible? This is not a... This is a 10. This is also a 10, but it won't go on there. What? It says 10. 11? Who uses 11? So that is one A-arm done. I've got the bushes, the caster block in, I've got this side in, and I've got the new ball joint in. So this is ready to go back on the car as well. All right, so now I've got the two A-arms completed as well. So these two bushes goes onto the anti-roll bar, but I still need to take it off the car because I haven't done that. So we'll do that in a second. But I also have these drop links already refurbished, as you saw in the beginning of the film, but I need to push in the bushings through here. So let's quickly get that done. And once that is done, we'll go under the car and dismantle the anti-roll bar. And I think I might want to take out the cross member as well to get that cleaned up and sprayed. Yeah, so it looks like I ordered the wrong size for the drop links. You can see this is super loose in here. I can just push it out with my thumb. That's not supposed to happen. It should be a very tight fit. So I think I have to go and look at what I ordered, because this is just not right. It's the right size, but it's not the right diameter. So I won't be doing this now. So in that case, we are going to go down here quick, get the steering rack out, get the anti-roll bar out, and get this cross member out. We're under the car again. The anti-roll bar is still hanging on with two brackets, this one, and same on that side. You can see it right there. These are 13mm nuts, so I'm just going to quickly take this apart, drop it out, and then we can clean the anti-roll bar and give it a coat of paint. Alright, to drop this cross member, we've got 4 bolts, 2 on each side. And this is also what the steering rack is attached to. So before I can do that, I need to just disconnect the steering rack up here from its union joint. I'll loosen that up, and then I can take out these bolts, and then I'll bring the rack down with the cross member. And I'm actually thinking that I'm going to open up this rack and just clean it out, because I don't know what the condition is on the inside. So alright, so we've got them all out of the car. This is the steering rack right in front of you. That there is the cross member, and over there is the anti-roll bar. So I will sand down the anti-roll bar. I'll give it a lick of paint. I will put this one into degreaser, and then once that's clean, I'll probably put it into some of the derusting fluid and get it all derusted. Then that'll go into some paint. And then in the next episode, I think I will be tackling the rebuild of this rack. And once all of that's done and back under the car, we can put back the A-arms we've just rebuilt and the struts. And then once that's in, we will do the brakes and the discs. I'm also putting these brackets from the anti-roll bar into the tub of Rustyco. You can see what it's looking like. So in the next episode, I will show you what these things look like when they come out of the fluid. You'll be amazed. There we go. It's quite disgusting in there already. I might need some new ones. But anyway, we've got the suspension rebuilt on the bench already. So the next thing for me to do down here is put some wax in the wheel arches to make sure it doesn't rust any further, and that I can stop the rust that I can see. So if you're new to my channel and you like what you've seen so far, maybe it's a good time to hit the subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification while you're at it. This way you'll be notified of my next episode, which will be out soon. Until next time, guys. Goodbye.